When Marcella was about 20 years old, she started coming to church and she gave her life to Christ. Her life was kind of going nowhere. She was partying. She grew up in a neighborhood with a lot of gangs and parties. And she ended up giving her life to Christ and got focused. She was going to school. She knew what she wanted to do. And then she went to a party one night, and her mom didn't want to go to this party, but she went anyway. And at the party, a gang member got in a fight and got beat up. Well, he left the party mad, came back with a rifle, and sprayed the party with bullets, and Marcella got shot and died. Well, we had the funeral at our church, and it was very moving. She had all her friends come. She was only 21. She was a young girl. And her mom came to the church. Now, her mom had never been to the church. She was asking her mom for a year that she was going to church to come, but her mom would never come. But when her mother walked into the church in preparation for the funeral, she realized what Marcella was going through. She realized what was changing her life. And I got to share the gospel with her mom right before the funeral in the back room. And she said, you know what, I want to get saved, and I want to do it in front of all Marcella's friends at the funeral. And she did. I did the altar call right in the funeral in the church, and about 30 people came forward with Marcella's mom. But when we were at the gravesite, they were getting ready to put the casket in the ground, the Lord spoke to me and said, you know what? You need to ask her mom to have a press conference and ask the gangs not to retaliate on the murderer, because the word on the street was the kid who killed Marcella was going to get killed by his own gang. And so her mom decided, you know what, I want to do something good. And we had a press conference at her mom's house, and some of the San Diego Chargers came, the police chief actually came as well. And we asked for peace, because at that time there were a lot of killings on the street. And as this mom, whose daughter just died, is asking for the life of the murderer, the suspected murderer, one of the reporters couldn't understand. He said to her mom and her dad, how is it that your daughter is dead and your daughter just got killed, yet you're asking for mercy? You know, passion sometimes, the passion that God gives us, has to not only keep us going, but we have to use that passion also to withhold us from doing what we want to do. When Christ was arrested, all the soldiers came up, and Christ said, I could have called 12 legions of angels to set me free, because Peter had cut the ear off of a servant. And Jesus said, put the sword away. If I want to set myself free, I don't need a sword. I can just call on angels and I can walk away. But Jesus had so much passion to fulfill everything God had called him to do that he was willing to withhold his power and allow sinful, weak man to arrest him. Sometimes you're going to have to not only do something right and fight through your pain and fear to do something good, you're going to have to fight through your desire to do something good and hold yourself back and allow God to do what he's going to do. Allow the circumstances to just play itself out. Sometimes you have to use our passion to say yes. Sometimes we have to use our passion to say no. And how do you know the difference? You got to pray to God. It comes from that relationship. Let me encourage you to ask God today, God, what do you want me to do today? Or what do you want me not to do today? Maybe today is a day to sit home and spend some quiet time chilling with the Lord and doing nothing but listening to him. Or maybe it's a day to go work hard. Whatever it is, but sometimes we just have to sit back and allow the circumstances to play themselves out. That's also passion. Matter of fact, sometimes it's harder to do nothing than to do something. But they're both equally as important. So have passion today, have some self-control, and do something.